This is Paris Hilton. Beautiful, right? Well, this is how the guys over at South Park saw her.
Hey everyone! I did a whole lot of partying last night with a lot of different guys.
Quite a difference. Obviously, Paris wasn't happy, but she wasn't the only one who got mad. Right, today we're gonna go over 12 celebrities whose egos were completely destroyed by their appearance on South Park and how they reacted.
And the previews like it'd be okay. The way they portrayed the show, it was kind of trashy.
Yeah. More on that to come. Let's start with the episode Go God Go, where Mrs. Garrison refuses to teach evolution to the kids, so Richard Dawkins has to step in. Upset that she's been replaced, Garrison tries to sabotage Dawkins' class. Things only get worse when Dawkins reveals he doesn't believe in hell, being an atheist and all. Mrs. G tells Dawkins that she's not a monkey, and things escalate fast.
I'm a monkey! Ah! Principal Victoria, I was simply trying to make a point to Mr. Dawkins.
Garrison is so close to being fired, but Dawkins steps in and says she's just passionate about her beliefs. Things get even crazier when Dawkins invites Garrison on a date after finding her attractive. Famous atheist react when he saw himself on South Park. Well, in a Reddit thread, he said that he's constantly asked about his South Park appearance, going on to say, and I quote, "I'm buggered if I like being portrayed as a cartoon character buggering a bald transvestite." Mrs. Garrison is trans, but we can see the point he's making. He didn't like his fictional girlfriend. He went on to say that he wouldn't have minded if it had been done to make a serious point. I don't think he watches much of South Park. The episode Fish Sticks has gone down in South Park history as it poked fun at Kanye West at a time when the whole world was watching him go off the deep end. The episode starts with Jimmy writing jokes for comedy routine, but he accidentally stumbles into the best gag ever when Cartman asks if he has any snacks.
You like putting fish sticks in your mouth? Yeah? Well, what are you, Eric? A gay fish? Fish? Oh, dude, that's funny as
The joke becomes a hit, so much so the comedian Carlos Mencia, who's been criticized for stealing jokes throughout his whole career, starts using the fish sticks gag. Unfortunately for him, people start using the joke on Kanye West, who doesn't get it.
There are a lot of people out there making up rumors about me that are malicious and untrue. I'm going to prove I am not a fish. Because I am a genius, I have ascertained that fish have gills.
This leads Kanye to kidnap Mencia, as his henchmen believe he started the rumor.
Not funny, I steal jokes, my don't work, I got to piss in a plastic bag, I got no...
I ain't gonna hurt you. I pay people to do that for me.
Ouch, now that's harsh. But what comes next is even more brutal.
I love fish sticks. I love putting fish sticks in my mouth.
You're a gay fish, man.
Who would have thought an innocent joke about battered fish pieces could go so far? Mencia was later asked on Vlad TV how he felt about being accused of stealing jokes and, you know, the whole Kanye beating him to death thing. At first he found it funny and was even annoyed that they didn't ask him to voice the character, but then he said this.
What I didn't realize was the emotional, visceral reaction to all this from people. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, others felt more strongly about the parody than he did, but it still had a negative effect, since the narrative that he stole jokes got fueled even more by the episode. Unsurprisingly, Kanye didn't have the best reaction either.
Everywhere I go, people pants smaller than mine. And I'm the one who, you eat fish because I have skinny jeans on.
And the ironic thing is, I really don't think he understands the joke in real life either. Kanye decided to use his music to bite back at the South Park team.
Make them say because the game's so pimpish. So a South Park writer with a fish stick.
Interesting choice of weapon there, Yee. You think he would have let the whole saga end there, but nope, he continued to mention it in later tracks, including a leaked version of Life of the Party.
South Park had jokes about fish sticks. They the whole team could kiss this.
So I think it's fair to say South Park is living rent-free in Kanye's head, unlike the punchline of the joke, which he still don't get. While Kanye might not have gotten the gag about him, Paris Hilton certainly did about her, but she really didn't find it all that funny either. In the episode Stupid Spoiled Video Playset, the South Park team took shots at celebrity culture, and they definitely didn't go easy on Hilton.
Hey everyone! I did a whole lot of partying last night with a lot of different guys.
Ugh, something tells me that isn't her breakfast yogurt coming up. Oh man. All the girls in South Park except for Wendy idolize Paris and are quickly to buy her products like Skank perfume and a playset that recreates her infamous home video. Yeah, they didn't really hold back. And in fact, they really tried to hit her where it hurts when this happens.
I need to get wasted. I haven't had a drink in like 14 minutes. Why is everybody so stupid anyway? Stupid redneck.
She later takes Butters as her new pet, even putting him in a bear costume and renaming him to Mr. Biggles. Paris even offers his parents $250 million to buy him, and they agree. Poor kid never gets a break. Luckily, Mr. Slave comes to the rescue and tries to persuade the girls not to idolize Paris Hilton, which leads to what we'll call the s'more off, just so we don't upset YouTube.
Yeah. Oh! Ta-da!
Oh no, she didn't.
Well, that's me off fruit salads for a while. Thankfully, Mr. Slave can't be beaten and convinces the parents to take more responsibility when it comes to the celebs their kids look up to. But what really got to her was seeing her dog Tinkerbell get shot. She says that part made her feel sick. To make matters worse, Matt Stone tried to twist the knife by saying that Paris's calm response just proved how messed up she is. In her memoir, however, Paris responds by saying, "My not wanting to watch this cartoon about my dog being shot and me coughing up ejaculate, that's evidence of how effed up I am?" Yeah, she's got a point. With South Park harshly parodying celebrity culture, it didn't come as a surprise when Honey Boo Boo and her mother Mama June Shannon were caught in the crosshairs. In the episode Raising the Bar, Cartman finally admits that he's fat and he's going to do something about it.
Sweet! Oh no!
Yep, his answer to being overweight is a mobility scooter. Cartman takes his new mode of transport one step further by becoming an advocate for mobility scooter discrimination after telling the court that a Best Buy employee wouldn't let him take a dump because the scooter was too big for the stall. When Kyle calls him out, Cartman says the scooter doesn't make him ignorant white trash like Honey Boo Boo. This is where the show really goes in on the reality TV show thing.
Her favorite foods are sketty and butter. She likes drinking Red Bull and Mountain Dew.
I'm only 6 and I've already had 3 heart attacks, girlfriend!
I don't think they could have designed them any more unflattering. But that's not the only time the pair shows up in the episode. At one point, June and Boo Boo go to a farm to choose a pig. It's not to eat though, but so Boo Boo's feeling hurt can be replaced by a pig one.
This is not here. You want this one?
I want that one's heart. It looked at me funny.
If that was me, I wouldn't be able to look at bacon the same way ever again. So after seeing herself and her daughter portrayed as food-obsessed redneck slobs, Mama June's reaction when TMZ asked her about it is pretty much what you'd expect.
I mean, some of them are kind of funny. South Park, me being a big person, I didn't take offense. It just didn't portray that show as a show that I would want to be on to begin with.
Yeah, she hated it, and even threw shade by saying it's a show she wouldn't want to be on. When a reality TV personality doesn't want attention, you know it's hit a nerve. She later goes on to say this.
And the previews like it'd be okay, but just the way they portrayed the show, it was kind of trashy.
Yeah. We're just gonna leave it at that. Ironic? Not for me to say. Next up is Rob Schneider, who's appeared in several South Park episodes, even becoming Kenny at one point after he eats the pot roast that contains his soul. But before he was possessed by Kenny, he was poked fun at in the episode The Biggest in the Universe. During a flight, Cartman, his mom, and Chef watch a movie commercial making fun of all the insane roles the actor has done.
Rob Schneider is a stapler, and he's about to find out that being a stapler is harder than it looks.
Turn that into a horror movie and they got a hit in their hands. But that wasn't the only time Schneider showed up in this episode.
He's about to become a carrot.
I'm a carrot.
It's 24 karat comedy. Schneider is a carrot. Rated PG-13.
He looks more like an Oompa Loompa having a really bad day, if you ask me. Now, I think we can all agree that he got off pretty lightly. In fact, Rob himself agrees.
And my friend, like Matt Selman from The Simpsons, a genius writer, said they could have been meaner, you know?
Yeah, after checking out some of the other entries in this video, that's definitely true. But what did upset Schneider wasn't the portrayal, it was how people wanted him to feel about it.
But I just remember, like, how people wanted that to hurt you.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They wanted to.
Absolutely.
Did it make it? Did it bleed?
Yeah, that says a lot more about how toxic people can be rather than the gag itself. But Schneider isn't the only comedian who became the joke. In the episode, Cartman's mom is a dirty aisle stand, and Kenny decided to skip school to check on Cartman, who didn't show up at the bus stop. But what they find is more disturbing than anything they could have imagined.
I think we better get help. Really? Oh, wow, Eric, you are the coolest guy in the world. This is tremendous, too.
Well, at least Cartman's found people who like him now. It turns out Cartman is acting up because he wants to know who his father is, but unfortunately, Cartman's mom can't quite answer the question. Turns out, she's had quite a few friends back in the day.
Your mother is what we Native Americans refer to as bear with wide canyon.
What do you mean?
Doe who cannot keep legs together.
Huh?
Your mom's a...
First, he thinks his dad is Chief Running Water, but it turns out Cartman's mom had slept with pretty much every single person in South Park, including Mr. Garrison. While this is all going on, the kids watch their favorite show, America's Stupidest Home Videos, hosted by Bob Saget.
Hey, I just flew into the studio. Boy, are my arms tired. Bob Saget.
This guy sucks.
And to get that material from Christmas crackers? Saget's roasting doesn't end there, as the gang later watches the next episode.
Oh, I'm a little dog. Oh, but I've got to put a hat on my master's head.
After this episode aired, Saget was asked what he thought of his cameo, to which he said this.
I come out and I look like, Beavis and Butthead meet Frankenstein.
We hated that show, America's Funniest Home Videos. It was pandering, dumbing down America.
And then my daughter's like, they're not wrong.
First roasted by South Park, then his own daughter. While he seemed to take the jabs about being an awful comedian in his stride, he later went on Reddit and said he liked that Stan's grandpa found him funny. He also said the portrayal hurt him, but felt good at the same time, like most of his relationships. Whatever that means. Cartman's Jennifer Lopez hand puppet has become infamous over the years, who was introduced in the episode Fat Button Pancake Head. The episode starts with South Park Elementary having a cultural diversity day, and let's just say Cartman really doesn't get the point.
My name is Jennifer Lopez. I eat tacos y burritos.
Would you like to talk about Latinos in the arts?
Oh, sí.
Okay, I see why that's super offensive, but we gotta give Cartman props for not moving his lips. This version of Jennifer Lopez hangs around for the rest of the episode, with Cartman outdoing himself and releasing a song puppet by J-Lo.
Don't think just because I got a lot of money, I'll give you taco flavored kisses, honey. Are you wishes with my taco flavored kisses?
This leads to the real Jennifer Lopez getting dropped from the record label, which causes an equally offensive depiction of her going after the imposter. Well, Cartman's hand.
You better remember that I'll come and take you down if you ever say anything.
You can suck my culo, chica!
Who was that?
To make matters worse, the imposter steals her then-husband Ben Affleck away from her. This leads to Lopez trying to kill the hand puppet with a chainsaw. Luckily for Cartman, she's stopped in the nick of time.
Oh, I thought I was going to lose you. Let's run away and get married tonight. You can't get married tonight. She has a recording session.
To say they did her dirty is an understatement. So how did Jennifer Lopez react when she heard about the episode? Well, while Lopez herself never said anything publicly, it was rumored that when employees started referencing her parody, she got so upset she fired them. But Trey Parker did have a run-in with her.
We saw Jennifer Lopez at a party, and all Jennifer Lopez did was walk past me and push me. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, J-Lo gave him a push, but let's face it, if it wasn't a party full of people, she may not have been so calm. In the episode Ginger Kids, Cartman mocks ginger kids.
Oh, sick. Gross! Ginger kids are born with a disease causes very light skin, red hair, and freckles. Ah, nasty! Yuck! This disease is called gingivitis.
If that wasn't harsh enough, he also claims that they have no souls. So to change his horrible take, the gang decides to sneak into Cartman's room and turn him into a redhead.
Ah! I'm ginger!
Oh my god, Eric!
Help me! Help me!
Well, that's kind of an overreaction. Looks more like strawberry blonde to me. The rest of the episode follows Cartman trying to live as a ginger. It's like some kind of curse or something, with him being treated just as meanly as he's been to others. This leads to Cartman starting the Red Power Group to stand up against ginger discrimination.
We true gingers are furious that the role of Annie is being minimalized.
What harm do you believe this actress is doing to the true red-haired community?
Isn't ginger!
In classic Cartman fashion, he takes things way too far and sets his new group on the non-ginger kids, causing chaos. Okay, hair color aside, that would be terrifying. Later, Kyle tells Cartman what they did, forcing the leader to call off the mob, only to save his own bacon, of course. So understandably, redheaded people were offended by the episode.
It really irritates me that South Park would say that red-haired people don't have souls, okay? Because we do have souls, alright?
And he wasn't the only one.
But it was never something in America. People never knew what a ginger was. Episode of South Park ruined my life.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Oh.
Yep, Ed Sheeran said it ruined his life after being constantly mocked for his hair once the episode aired. But saying it ruined his life might have been a bit of an overreaction, since later he went on to say this.
I love South Park, and I hope if I'm ever on South Park, them taking the piss, I hope I'm allowed to voice my character. It's very offensive.
Yeah.
I would love to voice my character.
Or is he just trying to get face to face with the South Park guys to get his revenge? I guess we'll never know. Next up, we have Tom Cruise, a guy known for his eccentric outbursts, and when he appeared in the episode Trapped in the Closet, he really didn't hold back. The episode starts with Stan running into some Scientologists, and when they offer him a free test, he takes them up on the offer.
You are one messed up kid.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm afraid that you are completely miserable and totally depressed.
I am? I didn't know that!
Well, if some random guy you met on the street tells you that, it's gotta be true. Luckily for Stan, all he has to do is pay the $240 to join the church. Bargain! Turns out that Stan's thetan levels are the highest they've ever seen. They believe the founder of the group has returned.
There he is! Thank you for returning. He's wonderful. He's wonderful.
Does this mean he can get a refund on that joining fee? Eventually, Tom Cruise, an outspoken follower of Scientology, turns up to meet the great founder, but it does not go well.
Haven't you enjoyed my acting? Which film did you like best?
I mean, you're not like as good as Leonardo DiCaprio, but you're okay, I guess.
What? I'm a failure in the eyes of the prophet. Ah!
Hey!
Yeah, Tom Cruise ends up in the closet and refuses to come out. Ah, I see what they did there. Other celebrities like Nicole Kidman and John Travolta try to get Tom out, but he still refuses. That is until Stan calls Scientology a scam, ending his reign as the prophet. But hey, on the bright side, Tom Cruise is finally out of the closet.
You made me look stupid. I'm gonna sue you too.
Well, fine. Go ahead and sue me.
Yeah, sure, Stan made you look stupid. As you can probably expect, Cruise didn't like his beliefs being mocked. In fact, he allegedly threatened a lawsuit and tried to get the episode pulled, but because Matt and Trey were careful with how they made the joke, there was nothing he could do.
Actually, the joke was just, okay, we're going to have Tom Cruise show up flamboyantly gay and whatever. Like, yeah, but you can't say he's gay. Okay, but we can say he's like closeted gay. Like, no, you really can't say that either. And like, just became this thing of like, what if he's literally in a closet? And they're like, yeah, you can do that.
So that's how they get away with so much. Good lawyers. In fact, they're so good they even let the show keep mocking Cruise in later seasons.
Hey guys, check it out. Tom Cruise is a fudge packer.
What did you call me?
Well, yeah, he is packing fudge. I mean, another Hollywood A-lister who took offense to their portrayal in South Park is Barbra Streisand, who made her debut way back in the first season with the episode Mecha Streisand. In the episode, the kids are digging for arrowheads when Kyle discovers something interesting.
The little 8-year-old was very shocked indeed when he came across a very ancient triangular object.
I was just digging around, and I was all like, dude, I found this triangle.
But this isn't just any ordinary artifact, and Barbra Streisand shows up asking for the Triangle of Zinthar. But Kyle's not giving it up, especially since he has no idea who she even is. Turns out Streisand wanted to match the one she's already got, which will turn her into a giant mechanical version of herself.
When she was 5, she knew that she wanted to be a famous singer. By the time she was 6, became to rule the universe. She learned of an ancient diamond, the Diamond of Pentheus.
Wait, does that mean if Kyle got both triangles, he'd become a giant killer robot? Admit it, that'd be a really cool way to kill Kenny. Streisand shows up in disguise and overhears the boys absolutely roasting her, saying they could land a jumbo jet on her nose, that she wishes she was 40, and that her singing is awful. Man, they're definitely gonna regret that one.
This is plain audio. Now do you remember?
Damn your black heart, Barbra Streisand!
I don't know what's worse, the stretching rack or the singing. Streisand gets both pieces and turns into a killer robot, but she's taken down by Robert Smith from The Cure, who turns into a giant Mothman and punches her weak spot, her nose. Streisand later commented over her South Park character in Mirabella magazine, saying she didn't appreciate being portrayed in such a negative way. She also said she wondered if shows like South Park and Beavis and Butthead added to the cynicism and negativity of society. Safe to say she didn't like it. So why did Barbra Streisand become a parody punching bag for Matt and Trey? Well, during an appearance on the Conan show, they explained why.
It's not we're not mocking Barbra Streisand, we hate her.
Well, at least they're honest. In fact, the guys have gone on record saying she's one of the only celebrities they've mocked that they truly don't like. And it's not just musicians and actors who get the brunt of the South Park treatment, even royalty. Well, ex-royalty. The episode starts with a parody of Queen Elizabeth's funeral, but for obvious legal reasons, it's actually the Queen of Canada.
Yes, Smelly John sitting down at the piano with a tribute for the Queen, I believe. Goodbye, Quaffy Queen. Same says though you quaff your last quaff.
Such a touching send-off. Eventually, the prince and his wife, who look suspiciously like Harry and Meghan, turn up in South Park to live a private life. This was a jab at the real-life couple's pleas for privacy, while going on tours, doing an Oprah interview, and releasing a Netflix documentary.
Down with the Motorhead. We deserve our privacy.
The couple continues to be a nuisance to the neighborhood while constantly telling people to mind their own business, but when Kyle actually tries to ignore them, Harry, the prince, goes out of his way to get some privacy. I guess it's not just the royal reputation he's left a smudge on. The episode hits headlines soon after it aired, with Meghan reportedly releasing a statement.
According to reports, Meghan Markle was, quote, upset and overwhelmed by her portrayal in a cartoon.
They went on to say that their popularity in the US has dropped. In fact, they became more disliked than Prince Andrew. Ouch! It was also reported that Meghan was planning on suing the South Park creators. Get in line.
Would we go down a legal route? Should we go down that? But given that Harry and Meghan seemingly love any interaction regarding a legality, this wouldn't be out of character. My advice to you, Meghan and Harry, kind of just enjoy the moment. It will pass, as they say.
Enjoy your privacy.
When the news reporters are trolling you too, you know you've already lost the battle. But it's not always the actual person who gets upset about their depiction on South Park. In the episode Hell on Earth, Satan is preparing a huge Halloween party on Earth where everyone in hell is invited, along with some living celebrities.
This is my night! And at midnight for dessert, I'm thinking over here, we bring out a huge chocolate fondue fountain.
They've got day release in hell, who would have known? When it's time for the big shindig, everybody who's anybody in hell is invited to the party.
Can you hear me now?
Everyone quiet! The man of the night, Satan!
Oh boy. Princess Diana and Hitler partying together? That sounds like the start of a very bad joke. Well, a ton of deceased famous people appear in the episode, including Ted Bundy, Gandhi, and Biggie Smalls. What a trifecta, by the way. One of the guests was especially shocking, considering he had only died a few weeks earlier.
Hi, listen, dude, the whole crocodile hunter thing, it's just a little soon. I mean, he just died a few weeks ago, and it's just not super cool. You gotta leave.
But it's me, Satan. I am the crocodile hunter.
Oh, but then, dude, no costume. Sorry, you gotta go.
I thought we were friends!
I'd say they're going to hell for that one, but with the parties they must throw down here, it doesn't seem too bad. When Steve Irwin's wife, Terry, heard about the cameo, she was far from impressed. In fact, she said it devastated her and that she was scared her 2 young children at the time would see it. She also said the gag had no clever elements to it and was purely for shock value. Well, they did have the world's most infamous serial killers ordering a giant Ferrari cake for the party, so she's not wrong. And that's all we got for today, guys. But if you want more South Park brand controversy, click the video on screen right about now. So yep, thanks for watching.